Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging headfirst into something that's, well, just moving incredibly fast and changing everything around us. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's kind of astonishing, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Just a few years back, AI felt like, pure science fiction. Now, it's everywhere. Virtual assistants, facial recognition, even self-driving cars becoming more common.
It's completely woven into daily life, transforming how we work, how we live. It's huge.
But with that speed and integration comes the tricky part, right? These huge ethical questions.
Exactly. As we lean into these amazing advancements, we find ourselves facing some really profound ethical dilemmas. We have to ask, where do we set the boundaries for AI in society? It's less about can we
Yeah.
and much more about should we.
Absolutely. And that's our mission today. Where do we draw that line between pushing innovation forward and making sure we're ethically responsible? We're taking a deep dive using two really insightful pieces. One's an article from nexttech3d.ai called Ethical Dilemmas in AI, Where Do We Draw the Line? And the other's by Bernard Tapia-Sithole on LinkedIn, The Ethics of Technology, Where Do We Draw the Line?
And both really push us past just the technical possibility to that critical should we
Right.
question.
Our goal here is to help you navigate all this complexity. We want you to understand not just what the issues are, but why they actually matter to you, your privacy, and honestly, the future of society.
It impacts everyone.
Okay, so before we jump into specific problems, let's get on the same page. What do we actually mean by technology ethics? It gets thrown around a lot.
Right. It can sound like just a buzzword, but it's much more. Bernard Tapia-Sithole's article frames it really well. It's basically a branch of applied ethics.
Okay.
It's all about looking closely at how we responsibly create and use technology, asking those tough questions. What's actually right or wrong here? How do we distribute power, access data fairly? What safety nets do we need for society? And it's not just AI, right? It covers robotics, social media, surveillance tech, genetic engineering, fintech, you name it. It's like the moral framework we need for this tech-heavy world.
So a moral compass for innovation. I like that. And both sources really hammer home this idea of technology as a double-edged sword.
Definitely.
Every big breakthrough seems to bring amazing benefits, but also significant risks. And just because we can do something technically.
Doesn't mean it's morally okay. That's the core tension, isn't it? Innovation often sprints ahead of our ethical understanding.
Okay, with that foundation, let's get into some of those really pressing ethical dilemmas our sources highlight. These are the spots where that line between progress and integrity gets really fuzzy for you.
Let's do it.
First up, something that comes up constantly with AI bias. It feels like it's at the core of so many worries.
It really is. And, we generally accept that AI systems pick up biases from their training data, but the articles dig deeper into why it's so pervasive, so hard to fix.
Huh.
It's not just about needing more diverse data, although that's part of it. It's recognizing that the historical data itself is packed with existing societal inequalities.
Okay.
So data that looks neutral on the surface can actually perpetuate bias in really subtle ways. Think about credit scoring or predicting recidivism or even facial recognition having trouble with certain ethnicities.
Yeah, I've read about that.
The AI isn't magically objective. Its very foundation can be biased, leading to real discrimination in hiring, law enforcement, you name it.
Wow. So how do we even start to fix that? It sounds like a massive challenge.
It is monumental. The key seems to be proactive design, thinking about ethics right from the start.
So, like better data.
Better data, yes, much more inclusive representative data sets, but also doing rigorous fairness audits and building what's called explainable AI.
Explainable AI.
Yeah, making it so we can actually understand how the AI reached its decision. Transparency. NextTech3D.ai even suggests using advanced 3D modeling to simulate diverse scenarios, training the AI on more comprehensive, less biased data from the get-go.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Closer to home for many people. Privacy.
Yeah.
AI's power to process massive amounts of data raises huge privacy red flags.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it really hits home for you personally. Think about smart speakers, social media. AI is constantly gathering and analyzing huge amounts of your data. And often you haven't really given full informed consent, or you're not even fully aware of the extent of it.
Right, you just click agree.
Exactly. So that line between making things convenient for you and basically invading your privacy gets incredibly blurred. Governments, companies, they use cameras, GPS, data logs to track behavior. And Sithole's piece points out, in places with weaker regulations like parts of Africa, people might have no idea how much they're being watched. Your digital life is constantly being analyzed.
So transparency sounds sounds crucial here, but what does that actually look like?
It's absolutely essential. Nextech3D.ai has an interesting idea, using immersive tech, like VR, to create interactive tools.
How would that work?
Imagine actually seeing how your data flows, how it's used. It's more powerful than just reading a dense privacy policy, right?
Yeah.
It genuinely empowers you to make informed choices instead of just clicking accept. It puts some control back in your hands.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, another big one, jobs. The fear that AI will take people's jobs is very real, very human. Lots of anxiety there.
And understandably so. Automation, powered by AI, definitely can displace millions of jobs, especially those involving repetitive tasks.
But doesn't it create new jobs too?
It does, yes, in tech and innovation. But here's the catch. It also widens the skills gap. Many workers just aren't prepared for that shift.
Right.
Which leads to a big ethical question.
Oh.
Is it okay to automate massively without also investing heavily in retraining and upskilling the people affected? Sidhall's article really pushes on this. It's not just about corporate efficiency, it's about the societal impact, about fairness.
So what can be done to soften that blow? How do we manage that transition?
Well, businesses really have an ethical duty here to invest in upskilling. Nextech3D.ai's idea about virtual environments could be used for training simulations, for example.
Like flight simulators, but for new jobs.
Kind of. Realistic training to give people the skills for these new AI-driven roles. It's about making the transition smoother, more equitable, trying not to leave people behind.
Okay, this next one feels maybe the most complex. Autonomous decision-making. When AI makes critical calls, especially high-stakes ones, who's responsible? That gets incredibly thorny.
It really does. As AI gets more autonomous, figuring out accountability is exponentially harder. Take the classic example.
Yeah.
A self-driving car has an accident.
Right.
Who's legally and morally on the hook? The car maker, the software guys, the AI itself somehow.
Yeah.
Owner. We urgently need clear legal and ethical rules for this. The tech is way ahead of the law here.
And that extends to some really unsettling areas, doesn't it? Like AI and warfare. If the laws aren't there, should we just stop developing it in those areas, or how do we proceed?
That's a huge tension point. The debate around AI in the military drones, autonomous weapons, it's deeply challenging. Proponents say, okay, maybe it reduces human casualties, takes soldiers out of harm's way. But the flip side is, it could lower the barrier to starting conflicts. And the whole idea of delegating life and death decisions to a machine, that's profoundly troubling.
Yeah.
Our sources suggest using things like VR and 3D simulations to really explore these implications safely, create scenarios, get policymakers, the public, everyone talking and thinking ethically before these things are widely deployed. We need to understand the consequences before they happen.
It's not just today's issues either. The sources look ahead, touching on some really mind-bending ethical questions emerging right now.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing deepfakes get scarily good. AI making videos, audio that perfectly mimics real people.
Terrifying.
Right, spreading fake news, ruining reputations, the potential for political manipulation, fraud, blackmail, and Polakresupptine. It really messes with the balance between free speech and preventing harm online.
Yeah.
And then you have social media algorithms.
Designed to keep you scrolling.
Exactly. But often by promoting outrage, misinformation, even contributing to mental health problems, Sidhall's piece really highlights how these systems can erode trust. There are urgent calls for more transparency and regulation there.
And it goes even further into stuff that sounds like sci-fi. Biotech, brain-computer interfaces.
It does. Like with biotechnology, if we can edit embryos to prevent disease, okay, maybe. But what about enhancing intelligence? Who decides what's desirable?
Wow.
Or brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink. What about mental privacy? Could thoughts be decoded, even manipulated without your consent? Even VR in the metaverse, how do you handle harassment or crime in virtual spaces? What rights does your avatar have? These aren't future problems. They're happening now.
It really feels like we need some solid guiding principles to navigate all this, a moral compass, like you said earlier.
Absolutely. If you look at the big picture, all these dilemmas point to needing some core ethical principles for technology. Our sources highlight 5 key ones.
Okay, what are they?
Transparency, you should understand how the tech works. Fairness and non-discrimination, making sure AI doesn't just amplify existing biases. Privacy, protecting your personal data. Accountability, knowing who is responsible. And beneficence, the idea that tech should actually aim to do good, to help people.
Transparency, fairness, privacy, accountability, beneficence.
Exactly. Those are like our guideposts in these uncharted waters for both developing and using tech.
And it's clear this isn't just on one group, right? Drawing these lines is a shared job. Governments, companies, even us as individuals.
Totally. It's a collective responsibility. Tech moves faster than laws usually do, but we need good regulation for ethical innovation. We're seeing things like GDPR in Europe.
Right, the data privacy law.
Yeah, and POPIA in South Africa, laws giving you more control over your data. And the EU AI Act is trying to classify AI by risk and regulate it accordingly. Governments need to fund ethics research, boost digital literacy, hold companies accountable, and importantly, protect whistleblowers who call out problems.
But for companies, it's got to be more than just ticking legal boxes, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Companies have to lead ethically. That means clear internal guidelines for their developers, maybe hiring chief ethics officers, doing regular bias and safety checks, actually listening to users, and being upfront about how they make money and use data.
Nextech3D.ai seems to push for that proactive approach.
It does. And think about the Facebook Meta whistleblower, Frances Haugen. She showed how algorithms prioritize profit over preventing harm. That sparked a huge global debate about regulating big tech. It's a stark reminder. The bigger you are, the bigger your ethical duty. And honestly, brands that prioritize ethics build trust, loyalty. It's good for society and often good for business long term.
So ethics needs to be part of the design from day one, not just bolted on later.
Precisely. That's the idea behind ethical by design. Things like making privacy the default setting, collecting only the data you truly need, designing inclusively for everyone, having a human in the loop, a person checking high-risk AI decisions, and really thinking about unintended consequences before you launch.
Okay, so that's companies and governments. What about us? What can you, the listener, actually do?
You have real power as a consumer. Support brands you know are trying to be responsible with data. Go into your settings, adjust your privacy controls on devices and apps, maybe try alternatives to tools known for heavy surveillance like DuckDuckGo instead Google search, or Signal for messaging, and just learn about your digital rights. Every click, every share you make actually shapes where this all goes. Your choices add up.
That's empowering. And we shouldn't forget, these issues look different around the world. Sithol's article brings in a crucial African perspective.
Absolutely vital. In Africa, you see unique dimensions. The digital divide, just unequal access to tech, is a massive ethical issue itself.
Right.
Plus, weaker data privacy laws sometimes, concerns about surveillance being used against activists, and the whole issue of African data being used or extracted without benefit flowing back to local communities.
But there are opportunities too.
Definitely. Opportunities to build Afrocentric ethics frameworks, ethics grounded in local values, to empower African tech entrepreneurs to design with their communities in mind, and to push for digital rights education and policies that fit the local context. It's about solutions from Africa for Africa.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground. We've really taken a deep dive into these complex ethical dilemmas of AI in tech, from bias and privacy,
Jobs, and even AI in warfare.
yeah, really grappling with where to draw that line between innovation and responsibility, using those principles, transparency, fairness, privacy, accountability, beneficence as our guide.
And this whole conversation around tech ethics, it's really just getting started, and it's changing all the time. We're seeing trends like companies putting actual AI ethics committees inside their product teams.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and the rise of tech for good startups focused on solving problems in health or sustainability. We're seeing efforts towards global ethical standards, even digital ethics certifications for tech professionals. It's a really dynamic space.
It truly feels like technology has this incredible power. It could solve humanity's biggest problems. Or, if we're not careful, it could make our divisions even deeper.
It's a choice, really, a collective choice we're making every day to make sure innovation doesn't sacrifice dignity, fairness, or truth.
So here's something for you to think about this week. What's one specific thing you can do to be a more ethical tech consumer? And how might that one small action ripple outwards, maybe influencing the bigger picture of AI ethics more than you think?